sort of the diagonal ones.
Well, they could either all be diagonal, or they could all be horizontal, or they could all be vertical.
True.
It's just all the ones are relative to each other. Although it said that they had carved it in to reveal the chalk underneath, didn't it?
Mm-hmm.
That's just scrapings.
Curious as to what that is over there. Is that the bothy and everything? No. Yeah, it is. Could it? Could that be the bothy that we...
Might well be.
What? Letting them in?
No, it couldn't be, because
It was the lighthouse.
What?
No, because... Oh,
No.
there's a shadow up there.
Oh shit,
I returned home with a
On
pocket
hell.
full of stolen
No, because I'm
cash.
looking straight at it.
Half of it fell out of my coat
That's a
and
shadow, that's
vanished
not
into
where
the
you go
car's
up.
upholstery. But the rest, I
No, 'cause
carefully
the
stowed
shadow
away in a
appears
box
shadow.
I kept in a drawer by the
No,
side
that is
of my bed.
definitely
That
not
is a
person.
It was never intended as a meaningful act, but over the years
That's
it became a
humanoid.
kind of talisman.
And it's moving as well.
Yeah, but...
Wait, look
I
up
stood
again.
for hours just holding
Zoom
the
in.
diminishing
I am.
powder in my palm and noting its
Turn to the right, left slightly.
In time, we will all be worn down into granules,
I thought there was a
washed
second
into
shadow.
the sea and dispersed.
No, that's the thing, because the previous one disappeared when you looked straight at it. This one, it's not.
Maybe that's not a shadow, maybe that's the person who lit the candles.
No, that is a shadow. Okay, fading.
That's just the smoke. The cloud.
Go back.
See?
Humanoid figure appears in the smoke.
Can go back up and check. No, we can't.
You get up there later on anyway, so. That's why I was saying it, because I've been on the cliff edge.
Through the caves again?
It's just it's just an indent in the cliffs.
That's that molecule you sent me, that tricky molecule. That isn't a molecule. That means we're near that weird ion we found as well.
What's that?
Maybe.
Is that a pan?
Oh, wheels. More wheels. And a road sign. And car bits.
It's the parts of the other car.
Looks like it's a remembrance thing.
Also looks like a face with a mustache.
Later, ruin the mood.
Well, it does. After the symbolicism, that's what comes to mind.
Oh, there's the radio mast.
Uh-huh.
Is that where I have to
There were
get?
chemical
Yes.
diagrams on the mug he gave me coffee in,
Oh,
sticky
yeah.
at the handle.
Remember the
where his
mug?
hand
Yep.
shook.
Yep, crystal.
He worked for a
Writing
pharmaceutical
on the wall to
company
your
with an
right.
office based on the outskirts of Wolverhampton.
Doesn't have.
He'd been travelling back from a sales conference in Exeter, forming a strategic vision for the peddling of antacid yogurt to the European market. You could trace the connections with your finger, join the dots, and whole new compounds would be summoned into activity.
So the mug, what was on it was the thing that was the compound that was in the yogurt he was trying to peddle.
Looks good.
Left. The hell's that? Dead birds.
Yeah.
Oh.
4 dead birds. For some reason, I think that's symbolism.
From here, I can see
Something
my
else.
armada. I collected all the letters I'd ever meant to send to you, if I'd have ever made it to the mainland,
go
but
those
had
lights.
instead collected at the bottom of my rucksack,
Right.
and I spread
that?
them out along the lost
Oh.
beach. Then I took each and every one, and I folded them into boats. I folded you into the creases, and then
It's the
sun
letters
was
to
setting.
Esther.
I set the fleet to sail. Shattered into 21 pieces, I consigned you to the Atlantic. And I sat here until I'd watched all of you sink.
Definitely. It's definitely something about all of his memories and his everything that's happened to him is coming back.
Mm-hmm.
Another safe conclusion to say is this island is extremely creepy.
It's not creepy.
Do you mind how on edge you'd be if you were actually genuinely on that island?
To be honest, this kind of writing on the walls. Hang on. On a sudden.
Thought?
No. On a sudden something.
A light from heaven.
On a sudden, a light from heaven shone around him.
And he fell to the ground. Wait a minute.
You gonna Google it?
I used to have the passage up.
22 verse 6. But it happened that as I was on my way approaching Damascus about noontime, a very bright light from heaven flashed all around me. Remember, there's a lot of different translations of the Bible.
True. Hang on. You know when he was talking about the guy in the bothy? And he was talking about how he came from a long lineage and all that. And he moved in like 1700s. All of these letters and everything. What if... No.
What, do you think you're Jacobson?
No. I was thinking that maybe this you're walking around and following the memories of someone that lived quite a few years ago. So, I don't know.
Maybe, going back to what you thought about purgatory, maybe the shadows are others doing the same thing. Walking through purgatory.
Imagine how cool it'd be if that was actually the case, that everyone playing Dear Esther on Steam, it showed up as a shadow to everyone else.
Be like Dark Souls.
It'd be kind of weird.
Well, no, because you end up seeing people trying to hump other shadows humping each other.
Yeah, that'd be
To be
true.
honest, it'd ruin everything.
Just be on edge, all this creepy, and then you just have this
It's just
shadow orgy.
Dear Esther, I remembered something today, and then all you see in the vision is just two shadows humping.
I'll drag my leg behind me. I will drag it like a crumpled hatchback, tires blown and sparking across the dimming lights of my vision. I'm running out of painkillers and am following the flicker of the moon home. When Paul keeled over dead on the road to Damascus, they restarted his heart with the jump leads from a crumpled hatchback. It took 21 attempts to convince it to wake up.
Stop for a minute. Alright.
There's the shadow.
Yeah. There's something, Alex.
What?
21 times. He went the road 21 times.
Yeah, he also wrote 21 letters.
21 letters. Also, see that verse? Do you know the chapter's called?
21.
Paul's defense before the Jews.
Isn't there something about like 21 stones he was struck with or something?
Let me tell you, I'm reading it.
Well, if there were 3 atheist people referring to the Bible almost every 2 seconds.
I want to know what's going on. Wait.
Shadows oh no, it's back. Oh, back up there. No, let me back up! Damn it.
I've begun my voyage in a paper boat without a bottom. I will fly to the moon in it. I've been folded along a crease in time, a weakness in the sheet of life. Now you've settled on the opposite side of the paper to me. I can see your traces in the ink that soaks through the fibre, the pulp vegetation. When we become the pulp and the cage disintegrates,
gone.
we will intermingle. When this paper aeroplane leaves the cliff edge and casts parallel vapor trails in the dark, we will come together.
and he was proceeding on his journey.
It's nice to know.
And what's that middle bit? And it looks like an M.
And as he was
And as he was proceeding on his journey. How can you read these? Oh, right, I see. So you ignore the bottom part and there's the F. I see. And
was come
and has come
near
to
Damascus?
Yeah, Damascus. As he proceeded along his journey, he has come near to Damascus.
And the...
Hang on. And
he
was?
And he was
If only Donnelly had experienced this, he would have realised he was his own shoreline, as am I.
Hang on.
Just as I am becoming this island, so he became his syphilis, retreating into the burning synapses.
Talking about
of
the island
stones.
becoming part of the island.
Maybe that means death.
Hmm.
Death.
And as he was proceeding along his journey, he came near to Damascus. Neither did he, and he was 3 days without sight,
blind.
And neither did he eat. So he was blind and hasn't eaten. More writing coming up. Take this bath.
There are headlights reflected in these retinas. Too long in the tunnels of my island without a bottom. The sea creatures have risen to the surface, but the gulls are not here to carry them back to their nests. I've become fixed, open and staring, an eye turned on itself. I've become an infected leg whose tracking lines form a perfect map of the junctions of the M5. I will take the exit at mid-thigh and plummet to my Esther.
Now that's interesting.
I assume that's the lines of the drunkenness caused a car crash which killed Esther. That's what I'm thinking with that.
Possibly.
And maybe by writing the letters, sending them on boats and sinking them, think they may reach her.
As his penitence, his repentance.
Mm-hmm.
That's why he never sent letters. He sailed them out to onto the sea. And he must have survived the car crash.
Yes.
He must have. But obviously he didn't come out fine.
And it was his fault the cars crashed.
No, he was drunk.
Yeah.
So
and then Esther died during the crash that he caused and he survived.
And, well, if we think about it, what would the passage that it's referring to? He was on his way to Damascus, and it was as if he was
blinded by light.
He was testing himself on his way.
Yeah.
He must, because you know how sometimes people, when they get into a serious accident, they find God as a way because they're thankful that they're alive and they feel that a divine intervention happened. What if he turned towards God and he used one of the passages as something literal? So this is his Damascus, this island. He's trying to get here and he feels that somehow he can try and repay the debt he owes Esther somehow.
Hmm.